Chapter 1. The Purple Throne. The story begins where most endings are written in the gilded halls of Constantinople, where power is a poisoned chalice and the air hums with the whispers of betrayal. It is the year 711 AD, and the Byzantine Empire stands at the precipice of chaos. The throne, draped in imperial purple, is not just a seat of authority but a target, a prize to be seized by any who dare. And in the shadows, the knives are already sharpening. Justinian Roman II, last of the Heraclean dynasty, rules with a hand both iron and unsteady. His reign has been marked by brutality and brilliance, by conquests that stretch from the Balkans to the Caucasus, and by a paranoia that gnaws at the edges of his mind. The empire he inherited is vast, but it is also fractured at a mosaic of loyalties and grudges, where every noble, every general, and every priest watches the emperor with calculating eyes. The purple throne is not just a symbol, it is a curse. To sit upon it is to invite the daggers of the discontented, the schemes of the ambitious. Justinian knows this. He has seen what happens to those who rule too long, too harshly. His father, Constantine Romano, was struck down by disease, but the whispers say it was no natural death. His grandfather, Con Roman II, met his end in Sicily, his skull cracked open by a disgruntled servant. The throne is a graveyard of emperors, and Justinian has already outlived many of his predecessors. But Justinian is not a man to be easily undone. He has survived rebellions, exiles, even the loss of his own no-see brutal punishment meant to mark him as unfit to rule, yet he returned, defiant, with a golden prosthetic that gleams like a mockery of his enemies. He has a mind like a trap, quick to spring, and a temper that burns hotter than the fires of the hippodrome. He trusts few, and those he does trust are watched as closely as his foes. Yet even the most vigilant ruler cannot see all. The conspiracy against him is not the work of a single hand, but a web of many, woven in secret, in the dim corners of the great palace, in the barracks of the disaffected troops, in the chambers of the churchmen who chafe under his rule. The plotters are men of different motives. Some seek vengeance, others power, still others the favor of a rival claimant. But they share one thing, the belief that Justinian must fall. The first thread of the conspiracy is pulled by Leo the Isaurian, a general whose loyalty is as fickle as the winds of the Bosphorus. He has seen Justinian's cruelty firsthand, the way the emperor flays dissenters alive, the way he exiles entire families on the slightest suspicion. Leo has no love for the throne, but he has even less for the man who sits upon it. He begins to gather allies, men who, like him, have been scarred by Justinian's reign. Then there's Theodosius, the Patriarch of Constantinople, a man of God who has grown weary of the emperor's interference in church affairs. Justinian has taxed the clergy, seized church lands, and even dared to meddle in doctrine. Theodosius preaches patience, but his sermons are laced with warnings. The people listen, the soldiers listen, and the plotters take no. The final piece of the conspiracy is the most dangerous, a man named Bardanes, a former general who once served Justinian loyally. But loyalty is a fragile thing, and Justinian's paranoia has turned even his most devoted followers into potential traitors. Bardanes has been stripped of his rank, his lands, his dignity. He has nothing left to lose. The night of the conspiracy is cold, the kind of cold that seeps into bones and stays. The streets of Constantinople are quiet, the usual clamor of the city muffled by the weight of the coming storm. Inside the palace, Justinian sleeps, unaware that the men he once called brothers are now his executioners. Leo moves first, rallying the troops who have grown restless under Justinian's rule. They are promised gold, land, and the chance to strike a blow against the tyrant. Theodosius, though he does not lift a finger himself, ensures that the church silence will not hinder the plot, and Bardanes is the one who will deliver the final blow. The emperor's chamber is guarded, but not well enough. The guards are loyal to Justinian, but they are also men who have seen their comrades executed for lesser offenses. When the assassins come, they do not fight. They step aside. Justinian wakes to the sound of steel being drawn. He has time for one last breath, one last thought, perhaps of his father, perhaps of the throne he fought so hard to reclaim. Then the blade falls. The purple throne is empty once more, and the empire, already teetering on the edge of collapse, begins its long, bloody fall. But this is only the beginning. The poisoned chalice has been passed, and the next sip will drown the empire in blood.